Yesterday was tax day. We talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday was tax day. I've never been one to be organized with my taxes. My wife has always done the tax situation. It seems in my house that my wife seems to be always working on the taxes. It seems like a whole year project, right? And then you have your extensions. It's stuff that, for lack of, just to be honest with you, it feels like something that grown-ups deal with. Right?
Fair enough.
Right? So,
which you should deal with since you're a grown-up. But yeah, okay.
I just never looked at it that way, and I don't even remember. I remember when I started, like, in the job world, I started dating my wife, and I remember her and I, like, doing taxes, and that she kind of, I was like, I don't understand this stuff. You know what I mean? And back when we do it ourselves. And now, like, we have somebody that helps us do it. So yesterday, my wife was taking my son Dutch to some rehab to work on his knee. And I said, well, I might go to CVS for something. And I actually was going to go sneak off to this shoe store because a pair of shoes dropped that I knew they had at this one shoe store. And I was going to go buy these shoes. And when I took off, and I'm about to get on the freeway, and she calls me, and she's like, we have a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? And she's like, Penny, our assistant, told Blake, hey, don't forget to sign the taxes because they're due on the 18th, is what Penny tells Blake. And Blake says to Penny, today is the 18th. What? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, Blake did all that stuff weeks ago, and it was due yesterday. Now it's like 4:30.
Ooh.
Right? Oh. And Blake calls me and says, you need to go home. You need to go get the envelopes, and you need to get to the post office, because she was way far away. And she calls my son Kemp, who's home, and she's like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm at the CVS. Okay, I was going to go get a pair of shoes. But I'm far away from whatever. So she calls Kemp, and Kemp gets in his car and grabs the 2 envelopes for taxes and runs to the UPS store to get them in time to get the post, whatever the mark is on this thing, right? But the UPS guy's like, they already came, man, right? So then I go meet Kemp at the UPS store, and I grab the envelopes, and I'm hauling ass to the post office. Now, back in the day, I remember when I got into radio, on tax day, April 15th, radio stations used to broadcast outside the post office, and news stations would broadcast outside, and there'd be thousands of cars waiting to get their taxes put in, right? That's how it used to be. So I get to the post office, and they're closed. It's 5 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
Really? They don't stay open late for tax night?
They're closed.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, what happened to back in the day on tax day? Like, what happened to, like, you gotta wait in line? What happened to, and it's just so, I don't know if it's modern technology.
Yeah, I think so many people file electronically now. Yeah. You don't have to do that.
But I would still think there's still people like me.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some.
I go there, it's closed, and then there's a drive-through where you just drop it in the mailbox. So I put it in the mailbox, and I saw a couple people. There was consistent traffic of people dropping off their taxes, but it wasn't like back in the day where there was 1,000 people in line, bumper to bumper traffic, and you'd be news reporters going, "We are outside for traffic days due today." And so I hope I got my taxes and dropped in. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
On the blue mailbox, did it say the pickup times?
Oh, it did.
Because a lot of times it says like what time, and then you know if you got it in for the day.
I didn't even look.
Only grown-ups read that.
Yeah.
What happens if they're
Adults
late?
read that.
I think you got to pay a fine or something.
Yeah, you got to pay a little.
I don't even know if we paid it or not. I don't even know.
I would think they're like, a day, kind of had it in. At least you got it in. There's a lot of people who get it way late.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know.
There's things I just don't pay attention to. You know, like yesterday, I got a pair of shoes. In fact, Kyle, you sent me a DM. You were like, what'd you say? Are those custom? You said about these shoes I got. So what happened was I have the Nike app and I have the sneaker app. And the sneaker app is the one where you get shoes that drop that are, bam, these are hard to find. You get in a raffle and you try to get these shoes. The Nike app is where you can buy clothes from the Nike store or whatever, right?
They do some drops too, but they're more like low-key than the sneakers app.
So I'm on the Nike app a couple weeks ago. And I was looking for some Air Force Ones, and I see this thing about, you know, and again, I don't spend time reading things. Just kind of like when I see the news, I just read headlines and I just go. So I see this thing about, and there's a pair of shoes there, and I'm like, bam, I'm get them, and I got them. Don't know what it is. I thought I was buying some Air Force Ones that were the Air Force Ones that were for just they're white. They're these right here.
Oh, you have them on.
Oh, nice. Look, we're matching. Purple.
Right? So,
Look at you guys.
so when I got them yesterday, it turns out that I think what I bought was somebody else's Air Force. They're Nike ID. They were custom made. Like,
Oh,
But
really?
they said your name.
I know. I didn't design them.
They have your name on them?
No, they came in a box with my name on it, and it says Nike ID. And they didn't come from Beaverton. They came from somewhere in Indiana. And then it says, and it came in a nice Nike box. And I think that maybe it was a contest, and those were the shoes that won, and I bought them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay.
You don't know if they're rare. You don't know if they're not rare.
Oh, I know they're not rare. I mean, they're Nike ID. There's somebody who made them. But I bought Nike ID a long time ago, and they're not the same. There's just a little less quality than a normal Air Force One.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm really bummed out about it.
Those are nice, though.
I like them, but
Yeah.
they're just not the same.
Oh, we should start reading the stuff more
I know. I should.
before you buy something.
You know,
Well,
it's
why
so
start
weird
now?
because for somebody who nitpicks every teeny tiny little detail in many things, it's like the big things in your life you don't pay attention to at all.
None.
But in everything else, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you notice every single detail.
I think it has to do with the ADHD diagnosis, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Sweating the
Maybe.
small stuff. That's his deal. The big stuff goes by him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I brought that TV show, Anatomy of a Scandal. It's now number 1 on Netflix. Did you watch any more of it, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm on episode 6.
So you saw the twist.
Yeah. It's crazy
Is
because
it
like
good?
you think it's going one way and then you really start to doubt a party, right? Like you think someone's like, you don't know who's telling the truth. And then something happens and you're like, oh, wow. Because that's kind of like on that person's side for a second. And then it's like, nope.
But now you're at episode 6. There's only 6 episodes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's
Good. Because you know what else dropped this morning and I wanted to start? It's the documentary on Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh,
I wanna
yeah.
see
Yeah,
that.
it's called White Hot. It just dropped this morning, and I was like, "Oh, I got to finish Anatomy of a Scandal," but I want to watch that.
I saw the
So-
commercial for that, and I'm kind of like, when you see the commercial, like, how do they have a company like that?
I know.
Like, you could only be white and good looking to work
Yeah.
there. And you're like, what? I thought, like, what?
I know. It's crazy.
That's bonkers. Where's that on?
On Netflix.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to watch
I
that.
know. I was like, okay, I got to finish this first, and then